So we're chatting with the guys at HAIRitage Barbershop about all of the biggest headlines. Y'all ready to talk?
Hey. Welcome to another episode of HAIRitage Sports Talk. Welcome. We enjoy having you here. Let's get into it. First thing I want you guys to do, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that like button and subscribe. This is Black History Month that we're in right now. We're trying to hit 1,000, so go ahead and subscribe. Hit that like button and help us get to that 1,000. Before we get started today, I want to jump in on a couple of facts of what happened over the weekend and what's going on in these sports right now. Like I said, this is HAIRitage Sports Talk. We talk about everything on the outside, everything on the inside, and everything in the cut. We listen to the rumors, but we only reporting the facts to y'all. So let's get started, y'all. You know what? When I start thinking about when we brought up racing and auto performance a few weeks back. I want to bring up one today where we're talking about Breanna Daniels. Breanna Daniels was born in 1993 in Virginia Beach, Virginia. She's the first Black woman pit crew member in NASCAR, in which she joined in 2017. She's the first pit crew winner to be a part of a team in the Daytona 500. She's recognized as the crew members of the year at NASCAR Drive for Diversity Award ceremony. And there's films that talk about her. One of the films is called Over the Wall. And there's another video that's out on her that's on the WBN. Not only that, another thing that happened over this past week was women's college ball. When the Vanderbilt's freshman guard, Michaela Blake, she scored 55 points in a 98-88 overtime win this past Sunday at Auburn. She breaking both the SEC single game scoring mark and the Division I freshman scoring record. But the same record that she actually set previously back with a 53 point on January 30th at Florida. So she's been on a tear for the last, per se, 2.5 weeks. So at this time on HAIRitage Sports Talk, I want to bring in my man, my guy, our sports analyst, Mr. Tony Ari. How you doing this morning, my brother?
How you doing? How you doing this morning? Mr. Roddy Brown? I'm doing great. For this weekend. We're about to start it up here again. You know, All-Star weekend is over. NBA about to resume. And yes, as far as the world of sports, outside the Big Four, a lot of things has happened. Do want to thank you for bringing up Breanna Daniels' accomplishment over the weekend, the 27-year-old doing her thing for NASCAR. NASCAR is trying to include. I know this DE thing is getting kind of worn out here, you know, since the new administration and stuff. But NASCAR is doing its best to try to include other people, other races involved in this great sport of racing. So that is definitely a plus. And I do once again thank you for bringing that up. So let's get right into the show because I want to hear from our brothers, Rick Fame and D Speed later on with our other guests.
So let's go. Let's get ready to get it started. So next coming up that you're gonna see on this camera on HAIRitage Sports Talk, Mr. Ricky Fame. How you doing this morning, man? We're gonna bring you in, brother. How you doing? How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. This NBA season, man, it's midway. It's almost halfway through and over with. But enjoy the All-Star game, the 3-point contest, the dunk contest, and so forth. So, I'm doing good, man.
Most def. Next to join us, our guy, Mr. D Speed. Welcome to the show this morning, brother.
What's good? What's good with everybody, man?
What's good?
The fellas, humbled to be back in the building again. I'm broadcasting from the castle today. I'm a little worn out from the weekend. But man, it feels good. It feels good to be seen, heard, and to be amongst you gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. So since I got the team on here, um, so far, how you guys feeling a little bit before we bring in our special guest? Individually, did any of you get a chance to see anything from the NBA All-Star Weekend? If it was one or two different events that they had, I got a chance to see the dunk contest.
Yeah, the only thing I caught really was the 3-point in the dunk contest and
Okay.
a little bit of the All-Star game yesterday.
All right.
I kind of predicted Tyler Hero was going to probably win everything. I had Dame Lillard, but sometimes Dame is off. Sometimes it's hot and cold. Tyler Hero, he shoots 38% this year from the 3-point line, and Buddy Hield came through. He kind of shocked me, surprised me the first round. Messed my fantasy up though, but he came through in the first round. And he actually shoots 36.7% from beyond the arc. So I knew it was kind of close between him and Hero. Dunk contest was amazing. I know my boy was gonna do that, jumping over cars, jumping over the stadium. But I was going for Castle though, because that boy Castle, he's pretty dope too.
Castle was good.
Besides all
Stephon
the
Castle.
shenanigans and all these little stuff they put inside into the dunk contest, he really did the old school way, like Dominique Wilkins and Jordan did, and I kind of dig that style, and he really did well doing that.
That's his third straight too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Castle, he's one of the up and coming young basketball stars coming up in the NBA. It's probably one of the reasons why De'Ron Fox want to go to San Antonio, because of that young man.
That is the reason, because he's from Texas.
Yeah.
Hey man, my vantage point of that is, I get it. It's the theatrics, it's the excitement of the dunk contest, the flair, all of that. But Rick, you just touched on something, man. That boy did that. Like, it was a historic essence that he brought with his new age flair to the dunk contest. I think, to me, he was my champ. Like, I mean, no disrespect and no disregard to Lil Mighty Mac, man. Like, what he did was phenomenal. He put on the show, and nowadays, I guess the show is what's needed as opposed to the art of I don't know, man. People judge on different metrics, but for me, it was just I liked it. I
Kind of
loved
like
it. I
old
loved
school
the dunk
versus new
contest.
school.
Yeah, man. Like, it felt like that. The 3-point contest, same outlook on it as you. I thought Buddy Hield did good. I actually was going for Dame, especially in my hometown. But the All-Star game, it was weird. Watching all of it.
It was different.
I understand.
I want to bring in our favorite Raider fan that's up under the towel.
Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen,
God.
I want to introduce you all to
Elijah.
Dr. Evil.
What's up, Elijah? What's going on? How you feeling, man? Introduce yourself. Let everybody know. They know who you are, but a lot of people don't know your face because we don't see your face all the time, especially throughout the NFL season.
Yeah, we don't see my face, but my name is Elijah Lewis, and I'm happy to be here.
Welcome, Elijah. So at this time, before we continue this conversation, we got a very special guest that we're bringing from, by the way of Chesapeake, Virginia. It's a close, not only business relationship, but a close personal friend of mine and Mr. Marichal Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the CEO of Rugged Evolution. He has his own product. He's the host of the Arrington Gavin Show and the co-host of In Your City. Arrington, it's a blessing having you on here, brother. Thank you for joining. How you doing? Introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are, where you come from, and what you about.
Well, thank you, Roddy, man. It's great to see you. And what's going on, fellas? Look, happy Black History Month, by the way. And it's been a minute since I spoke to you, Rodney. Happy New Year as well. Happy 2025. My name is Arrington Gavin. I'm coming all the way from Chesapeake, Virginia. As Rodney said, I'm a small business owner, founder of Rugged Evolution Beard Care, and do a little bit of everything here in the Hampton Roads area. Local media personality. I work in radio and podcasting as well, and run a nonprofit. So, the community is important to me. And so I do a lot within the area here in the 7 cities. And yeah, man, just honored to be here on the show, man. Again, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, definitely. So, Arrington, before we brought you on, we got into a discussion. We started talking about, of course, it was All-Star Weekend with the NBA. I see Steph Curry won MVP. I didn't get a chance to actually see the All-Star game, but what was your thoughts if you got to see any of the events or the game itself? What was your thoughts of, because they kind of switched it up this year, and I thought it was a little bit different. And then after you speak, Tony, we're gonna let you go ahead and talk about the experience that Heritage Sports Talk had and why you were there this past weekend at one point. Arrington, what's your thoughts on the new format, kind of how they did it this year?
I mean, as a business owner, I'm always a believer of, trial and error, right? They're always trying to decide what is going to be more gravitating to the consumers, to the viewers, right? Trying to change up tradition every year, but sometimes it's good to hold on a little tradition, especially in NBA, where it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, in a sense. So yeah. I personally, I'm not a fan of it. It's been a while since I've actually watched a full All-Star game. I'll be honest. I've watched a lot of the challenges, Rising Star Challenge, the 3-point obviously is one of my favorite ones. The dunk, I've kind of laid low on watching it, but ever since this new guy that I think this was like his 3rd time winning it, it caught my attention. But again, it's like the dunk contest is supposed to entertain the folks. It's not really showing a lot of skill. It's to entertain, because this guy, he's not on the active roster. He's in the G League, and on top of that, I'm like, okay, what's his future as far as a professional basketball? How's his full-on game as a professional basketball player, right? How is this gonna push him up to an active roster? Because if he's won 3 times, I mean, another person I think that's came close to winning it 3 times was Nate Robinson, a guy who was on an active roster for some years. And it was amusing, but I mean, again, when they try to change up, and they do it a lot, they do it the same thing in the NFL too. They start to change up tradition, make it a little more enjoyable for the players, so that nobody will really get hurt. You had commentary with Kevin Hart and the guys, which was humorous as well. So it depends how you want to take on the All-Star. Do you want to actually look at skills, or do you want to just be entertained? So
correct. I agree. Tony, what was your thoughts?
And you said something significant there too, Mr. Gavin, about the dunk contest itself. Matt McClung, he's been around for a few years. Just right now, he's playing for the Osceola Magic, which is affiliated to the Orlando Magic. So he's been in the G League for quite some time. As a matter of fact, they keep bringing him back right now for just the All-Star game. I think Matt was originally drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers. And of course, he hasn't found a home, in the association. So he can't get among the 450 athletes that is a part of a great sports organization. So, but the NBA always find a way to bring him back. No disrespect on him though, because you mentioned, Ayrton, that the dunk contest is about skill. Well, it's also about creativity. I mean, you jumping over cars and doing reverse dunks, and you jumping off 30-story buildings, and you bounce
everything
off
that's
the
on
floor.
NBA 2K.
all of that. So it's best really what you can come up, what you can create to entice the crowd, to entice the viewers, more so than your leaping abilities, hang time abilities, and things like that. Is what you can come up with that had these little nuances, to try to get to that 50 score. I saw that, and I was at the Rising Challenge, which is first and second year players. That was Friday night at the Chase Center, because that's where it was held at in San Francisco. I'm not really a big fan of the Chase Center. I really enjoyed the Golden One Center right here in Sacramento much more, but them holding the NBA All-Star game in San Francisco, which is a beautiful city, don't get me wrong on that part, but they have more hotel spaces, they have more cultural things to do, and definitely a lot more activities, social activities that they can do around All-Star Weekend. I would have liked it that they had the HBCU game not at the old Oracle Oakland, where the Warriors were playing, have that at the Chase Center as well. But they did have those students, those basketball players, Morehouse College University basketball team. I forget the other one. Forgive me. The other team. They were there at the Rising Star Challenge, but they were just the introduction there. The next night they had to play in Oakland at the old Oracle thing. But understand, Spike Lee, he was there because he was supporting his old school, Morehouse College, which is based down there in Atlanta and stuff.
Atlanta, yep.
That was about my only take about it. No, I didn't really get a chance to see the game. That was my intention. I know they changed up the format. They did change up the format for the Rising Star Challenge, with the 4 teams playing the 40 points, and then you have a championship game. I'm okay with that. It adds a little bit more variety than what we're seeing, and it puts a couple more players on these rosters and stuff. But All-Star Weekend, NBA All-Star Weekend is over, 2025. So now it's time to roll over here to the second half of the NBA and see what's going to lead up to the title this summer.
Yes, sir. How you feel, D Speed? How you feel about the All-Star though? What you see?
Man, it was cool. I got to watch a little bit of it, man. And like I said, the format was kind of weird. I'm happy that Steph did get the MVP. I actually wanted him to take the last shot. I don't know if y'all was watching and remember the last shot to end it off. I mean, it is his house, but it ended the way it did. I mean, I'm pretty sure other people probably would have wanted that same feeling. But it was dope to see the different formats. It made it entertaining. I don't think it was a real shogunny all-star game, but it made it entertaining to watch to see what was going to happen. Everybody played dope.
Yeah. When I caught the I think I caught that little halftime little thing that they had with the shot you had to beat before he hit the 3-pointer, and the 18-year-old bro on 100 racks. And he was just like, man, this changed my life. I mean, he hit it in the last second. I thought that part was pretty exciting. The dunk contest, and I know they keep bringing them back, but what I did like about the dunk contest is that it kind of went back to the entertainment side of it. The 3-point contest, I thought was a little weird. Me and Ricky, we talked about it. What was that, Friday, Ricky, when we talked about it, and we both was like, it's either gonna be Lillard or the hero that'll probably take that particular contest. Ricky did. Yeah. So what you feel?
Man, this also I like it, but then again, I'm kind of old school. I kind of like the old school format where they just go at each other for 4 quarters straight. They kind of sag off in the beginning, and then they start playing real ball in the second half. But the new format's okay. It's good. It's refreshing, but I think that they should go back to the original format eventually.
Yeah. So what we feeling about the second half of the season? I mean, Lakers got Luka Doncic. We talked about that a little bit. Irvin's down there in Dallas balling. You still got Boston is looking like the favorites coming out of the East. How y'all feeling about the second half of the season? Do the Lakers have a chance? Is Boston going to repeat? Does New York step up?
Well, Oklahoma City is coming out the West. It appears like that. They're a really deep team. Of course, they got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who he's definitely in the MVP conversation for the league, and they're just a real deep, solid team. They, if I'm not mistaken, they either number 1 or number 2 in defense, and that's what wins championships. So I think they'll be rolling up out the Western Conference. The Lakers, they look a little bit stronger. I know they had an issue with one of the centers that they tried to trade for from
that was Charlotte. Was it Charlotte?
Where that out of Charlotte? Yeah, Mike Williams to be exact. So they had to rescind that and send him back. And Dalton Connect, who they traded to Charlotte, he had to go back to the Lakers. But I still think they still going to make that move, because if you got a player like Luka Doncic, you definitely have a chance to get to the finals. But I'm really going to roll it over to OKC. Of course, you got the Denvers, they up in there, the Clippers. They've been struggling as of late, but I would figure that they get it back together. And then Houston Rockets, they've been struggling too. But OKC coming out the West, that right now, that's what I'm sitting on. I'm gonna stand on them right now.
Okay.
Hey, if the East, if the Knicks keep balling like they balling out the East, they gonna be something for Boston to kind of mess with. Like, I love the fact I keep bringing this up that I wish Cat would have went to Golden State. We could have used him out there, but that boy doing his thing out east, bro. Like, and to get him amongst they already had a nice little squad before, but to see him flourish, I'm kind of liking the player that he's being developed into. But I'm Golden State till I die. So
Right.
I'm hoping
And you
that.
should be.
hey, man! I'm hoping that my boy, Mr. Butler, come in and it did something, but they still need a big. I'm gonna be the first person to say it. Like, stop playing small ball. Like, come on, we gotta get a little tough. Can we get somebody to push? Draymond can't be the only one.
Right. Well, they got Butler now. I mean, Butler doing his thing. He's helping out a little bit. I still think the size might be an issue with them in the playoff. Hey, I will say this.
Work to do, man.
What's that, Ricky?
I said the Warriors got some work to do, man. They're number 10 right now, so.
Yep.
Yeah, they gotta work. They gotta work, bro. They gonna have to really push because they are number 10. It's gonna take them. Do you really want them to play in, or do you want them to try to get into the playoffs? Because
Arrington finna drop. Watch.
Well, I wanted to say with D Speed, I appreciate him the kind words he said about my Knicks. See, I'm a diehard Knicks fan, and my wife, my wife and my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is from the Bay Area. She's from Oakland, and so they are diehard Warriors fans. And I know they room for Oakland. And my mother-in-law, she actually played college ball. She actually tried to try out. She was going to try out for the WNBA when it started, but she was pregnant with my wife. And so that never happened. So she's, diehard basketball fan. And I know she would like some improvement happening with Golden State. As for my Knicks is concerned, I really wish I was a little iffy with the trade at first because, we had a squad. I would have loved to have seen, the same squad, just a little more. We needed big men. We needed some bigger size on our squad. Brunson plays with a lot of heart. Which is something I think New York has always been missing out on a leader. He's not a ball hog. Like Rant Julius was a great player, but I feel like he kind of wanted to be that number one guy at all times. And Brunson's like, no, I'm gonna share it with my team, even though he can drop 40 or almost 50 at any time of the day. But his IQ is sharp. I think the chemistry that the squad has right now is pretty good, but Boston is a hard team to stop. They're athletic. They just I say it like this. So Fat Joe said it best. What my Knicks, we always look fire in like the first half, maybe first three quarters. By the time that fourth quarter comes, oh crap! we don't know what's going to happen. It's like we
Kings.
we literally let go of a league, man, and it's just like, why are we doing this? So that's the only thing that always worries me with my Knicks. But I'm always fortunate to, hey, we in the playoffs, okay, I'll take it. I want to be greedy. Obviously, we want to make it to the ship, but I always say let's at least make it to the playoffs because it was a time when we were never even making it close to the playoffs. So
weren't even considered to be near the playoffs.
Thank you.
Hey, Harrington, I got a question. Outside of your fam in Virginia, what's the NBA team that most of the people in Virginia go for?
So the closest team to Virginia for us will be the Wizards, but no one roots for the Wizards. That's what you go to. Let me tell you something. I went to catch my Knicks play the Wizards. When I tell you that Capital One Arena was the mini Madison Square Garden, I'm talking everybody was wearing. It was a shame. But yeah, no one roots for the Wizards. I would say you get a lot of Warriors and Lakers fan. I don't know. I feel like sometimes Hampton Roads, they kind of bandwagon a little bit, like who's ever like the
Whoever's
winningest or
really-
the most. Yeah, whoever's the most popular, they go for, the Lakers. You get a lot of ball. I mean, you got Boston, you got Lakers, you got the traditional old school fans, because remember back in the day, we had an ABA squad called the Virginia Squires. This was years and years and years ago.
Yes,
So
right.
again, you go
Doc
on
used
that
to play
rich
for
history.
him.
Yep, Dr. J. Yep. And so you have a lot of old school fan base that they raise their family into being, a Boston fan or a Lakers fan. Now, I'll throw in Philly, because right after really Washington, you leave from Washington, you start getting closer to the Philadelphia side. So I might say some Philly fans, but when it comes to basketball, I mean, it's sporadically, but they kind of it's legacy in Hampton Roads.
Hey, that's
It's
dope.
about college basketball.
It's about college. It's about Hokie
that
Nation, UVA. Of course, HBCUs. Norfolk State.
HBCUs, right? Big games, big house games, and all that. Well, let me ask you this. I know, Mr. Gavin, with the district having its issues, one of the worst teams in the association, but they do have a shot at getting a Cooper flag, in the lottery. Would that bump up the interest to the No, huh?
Let me tell you something. Man. One person can never change a full organization. I mean, it comes with a lot of just the support, because they don't get the support from the area. I mean, Capital One Arena has never had a sold out crowd ever. I mean, it always depends on the last game my wife and I actually caught was it was Mavericks and Wizards. This was when Luka was still playing for them, and I mean, it was all Dallas fans. It's just I personally don't think one guy will. It might get the confidence up, but I mean, it's a lot of stuff happening in DC. I think basketball really doesn't catch their attention that much.
You would have to bring in like a once in a lifetime player. Like there would have to be like that once in a lifetime player.
You're absolutely right.
Or I think that would work if you was to revive that team.
Because for how long they had Bill for so many years, and Bill is a monster. He's a talented player, but they had him for years, and
they just didn't know what to do with him. Didn't know how to build around him, and because I don't think anybody looks at that team as a destination team to go to or to build off of. I mean, I get it. The Warriors were like that at one point. Kings. That's the Kings were like that. Even way back.
Kings done turned into an outpost.
But they still got potential. I just don't like that last trade y'all did.
Yeah, I don't.
That's just my opinion.
Well,
I like
we could say that story for another day, but defense is not there.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. No defense.
I see that the Knicks are dedicated fans, man. I went to the Kings and Knicks game, man. It felt like I was in New York. I was like, I mean, he must have a lot of cousins out here or something, man. But it was New York all the way.
You know what? That's the same way with the Lakers when they come here. They kind of drowned out the place. Chicago, when the Bulls come here, they kind of drown out Golden One Center. There was another team in there too. It's just like there are some teams that
the Warriors drive up the highway.
The Warriors, man. They bought soon as them tickets go on sale. Those Warrior fans here in Sacramento, they scooping up all of that. They scooping up all of that.
I see more family from San Francisco at the Kings game than I do when I go to San Francisco.
Because the Kings fans, you got to think, there's really only true LA fans, and you're gonna find a lot of them out here.
LA.
There's gonna be Warriors fans. We're too close. I get it. The Knicks, that's surprising, but another surprising one is the Chicago fans. I've seen a lot of Chicago people there, but it ain't enough to see as many Chicago jerseys. So I think some of them just be really Kings haters. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kings ain't a bad team.
I'm gonna get the opposite team jersey and just wear it to the game.
To be perfectly honest, there's only 2 games that the Kings play out of their 82 game schedule that I don't fear the most, but I'll tell you one thing. I hope they lose, and that's against my Chicago Bulls. Whether they're on the road or they're playing here at Golden One.
That's why you threw Chicago in there. Got it. All right, Ben. Got it. I forgot. But my bad.
It's still no. I mean, speak your piece, brother. Speak your piece, DC. But yeah, I'm always gonna mention something Illinois too. I know we're gonna be talking about hockey later on. You don't want Abby in here talking about the Blackhawks because stinking it up too.
Oh Lord.
On the hockey end,
If you bringing that up, and we were talking a little bit about NBA All Stars, let's jump into the hockey scene real quick. There was no NHL All Star game for 2025 in the hockey arena. Instead, they did an NHL hosted the. It's called For the Nations Face Off International Ice Hockey Tournament, which included Canada, Sweden, USA, and Finland. The way they played this format was it's played in a round robin format, with each team playing each other once. The top two play one final game, and then it was played at the Bell Center in Montreal and at the Garden in Boston. So the All Star is going to return to their regular format, the way that they used to do the All Star. They're going to return back in 2026. So I bring that up to say this: a lot of people don't know the history of hockey itself. So the CHL. Does anybody know what the CHL is?
Colored Hockey League.
Yes, sir. It was formed in 1895 by the descendants of slaves who escaped north. It was about 30,000 that escaped, but they escaped north going into Canada during the American Revolution in the War of 1812. That was the slaves that were coming this way, but the descendants are the one that formed the league itself, which was active from 1895 through 1930. The first black player for the NHL itself was 1958. The league was formed, the CHL was formed by four men by the name of Pastor James Bourdin, James A.R. Kinney, Henry Sylvester Williams, and James Robinson Johnston. And one of the reasons why they started this league was to not only just have the league itself because of what they were doing, but to kind of open up for young minorities to be able to stay out of trouble, out of the way, and getting them to come into play hockey and be a part of something that was more positive. Elijah.
Yes,
What is
sir.
your knowledge of the colored hockey league itself?
Okay, man.
Yeah, my knowledge from what I do know about the Color Hockey League, it was just like you said. It was something there to keep it equitable, because a lot of times what happened is that in Canada, a lot of times the ice rink was always connected to a church. And so
Yes,
a lot of the people that were in those communities that were up north and in Minnesota weren't allowed to go to those churches because those churches were white churches, so they weren't allowed to play hockey, from what I do remember about that. And so that's why we have a pastor that was looking at that, because that was the way, especially in Quebec, it was centered at, and how religion and hockey became together.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Most definitely.
That sound about right to you, brother?
Hey man, hold on. First off, before I'm gonna say what I love about it. I just didn't know, Elijah. You bamboozled me, bro. I really thought your background was your home. It wasn't until we had this close up that you bamboozled me, bro. That's my bad, man. See,
Yeah,
look,
that's a
right
nice
now
baby
it looked
granddaddy
like
in the
that's
background.
it looked like that's a nice house. I'm like, man, he really got a nice home.
You spread out. Huh?
You bamboozled.
Oh, you talking about his background?
His background, yeah, it's like, wait,
That's my
Elijah
bad,
in a
man.
very
I
big
know I
room right now.
Again, the real
Yeah.
background is being worked on right now,
Nah,
and
nah.
once you see it DSP, you're gonna be like, "What?"
Hey, that's a nice.
Okay.
That's a
Hey,
nice
tell me
baby
something
granny you
then.
got back there.
That's what I'm talking about. Let me know something then. Talk about you say, hey man, it's in progress. That's what I'm talking about. Nah, but
Yeah.
about the CHL, man, the beautiful part that I learned about looking into this story was that it originated from these pastors as an after church activity.
Mm.
Like, and that was pretty dope. That I thought that it was something about that story that resonated, especially coming off of what I just did this past weekend. It was like it came out of these descendants of slave owners, but these four gentlemen who wanted to shine light on something that was pivotal in the community, because you got to think in that part of Canada, with a lot of us, it was very small community based. So to shine light on that and have it originate all being derived from after church activity and getting them to promote like, you know, our blackness, faith, and unity. It was beautiful, man. That was dope.
The Canadians always part of something. You know, Dr. Naismith, he
Boy, listen,
invented basketball, and the whole thing, he was trying to find an activity for them to do inside. Okay, and which, you know, he put up a couple baskets and peach baskets, and the next thing you know, we got basketball. But I do want to go back to the top of the discussion when Rodney did had mentioned though that, you know, these descendants in Nova Scotia that were enslaved, excuse me, that were enslaved is about 30,000 that migrated up there, you know, to be free. So even though there's a small population of black people up there, there's a big population of black people up there because there's some good, there's been some famous rappers and boxers and things that came up out of that area, you know, that far northeast end of Canada and stuff. So, you know, to do that and invent create a league like the Color Hockey League, you know, for their residents and excel at it. Yeah, that's pretty
it's
phenomenal that
inspiring,
happened because
bro. That's
this league went on
inspiring.
until
Yeah.
when it started in 1894 and went on to like 1930. Okay,
Yeah.
but we don't see that many blacks, you know, playing hockey today. But there are a lot of black players out there right now. I mean, there are HBCU students getting involved with hockey these days on another level. They haven't made it to the professional side, so there is an interest there, you know. And we can thank some place like Nova Scotia, you know, for offering that at least for our
Hey,
community.
Rick. Now look, Rick. Between me and you, wouldn't you be like if I would have known this story growing up? I probably would have been inspired to try out hockey. I'm damn sure wouldn't get on no ice right now. My
Right.
equilibrium won't allow for that to happen. But just knowing like certain stories like that, though, bro, I would have
Yeah.
inspired because like one of my little childhood favorite movies was Mighty Ducks. Like,
Yeah.
you know
But
what I'm saying? Like, so you got to think about stuff like that. I probably would have taken it more serious. I used to can rollerblade. That's how I found out I can't no more. Because I thought I was still good. Just like ice
you know,
skating. It's
Yeah.
just
We
not meant
used to
for me.
go ice skating. You know, in elementary school and middle school. And all we used to hang out in at Iceland out there in the Heights on Del
Oh,
Paso.
word?
Yeah, we used to go ice skating out there.
Mhm.
But man, it was man, ice skating is hard, man. Like
I ain't lying. I'm not going
It
to try
is.
it now.
I
But
I
like
rolled
it's
my
stories
ankle. I
like
rolled
this,
my
like
ankles at
the
least about three or
CHL.
four times trying to get
Yeah.
straight and
See,
going.
yeah,
It's
listen,
pivotal, though.
it
Fall
this
really
is
right
is.
this is
though.
why we have these conversations. I mean,
Right.
I would have
It
never known
really is.
you gentlemen was involved in ice skating,
And I say,
Yeah,
and
hockey,
I
and
tried.
things like
Roddy
that.
did. I
I
mean, he
tried
used
it
to.
one time. I think it was right after high school. My girlfriend, she was an ice skater. That's what she did. That was her thing. And she was like, "You should come with me one time." And that's exactly where we went. Was on Del Paso Boulevard to the
Yeah,
ice rink
Iceland.
out
Yeah.
there. Man, I got on them damn ice skates and
Hey,
I fell like 2 minutes in. I
That
hit that
ice is
cold ice.
cold.
I said, "No, this ain't for me." I
that's
can
a fact.
I'll rollerblade, but this ain't for me. But at the same time, like you said, if it was introduced to us at a very young
Right.
age, and it was something that coming from California, we a sunshine state when you really
Yeah,
break
like,
it.
bro, I'm a Bay
We
boy. I
don't
don't
get
know
a
what
lot
the
Yeah.
of
ice look like
the
unless I was
cold
at an ice
I'm
weather.
in
rink.
Illinois. I was exposed to it. I had to.
Yeah, hey,
I was exposed to what's that other the rugby sport. They out there playing that
Yeah.
game out
Yeah.
in the snow, and you know, then we had to go inside and we was watching, you know, players, you know, participate in hockey. So I was exposed to the stuff, but it was just there. It's just, you know, just another activity. I mean, if you living in those type of regions, you're going to
Mhm.
be
But
exposed to it at some point.
you gotta
But
think as a
I
kid,
believe if I
kids
got
living
into
in
it when I was younger, hey, it would have been
yeah.
a
been a
kid
bigger
living
thing. But it's
in the urban
interesting to know,
community.
even on the West Coast, that it has been exposed to, you
So
know,
cool.
Yeah.
Rick Fame. Okay, Elijah. All right, D Speed.
Right.
All right.
Because you got to
Hey,
think kids living in like urban communities like that. Like, most of us don't. Our target sports that we see are basketball and football, like and baseball too. Some that's making it good, and even kids playing soccer, like my son plays. Like so we don't really get to understand how dope hockey is. So if I would have got the understanding at that age and knowing this, I mean, it would have been dope. I mean, it is Black History Month, so I appreciate the knowledge and the opportunity to learn about this. Now we just pay it forward.
I just think what happened.
Let me see how dope we really are, though. Like, Black excellence runs deep in our veins.
Absolutely.
Like, dang, all the way in Nova Scotia, they was doing this. Like, oh yeah, we raw.
Yeah.
Elijah.
What was you saying?
Yeah, I just think the reason why it was is because when we started expanding westward as African Americans, that we didn't have the church and ice hockey rink structure. If that structure would have stayed and we would have had ice and they would have brought that tradition back when people started expanding westward, then we probably would have had more hockey. But I don't think that was ever done.
That is true.
No,
go ahead.
I was going to say, to add to Elijah's point too, I think, just in today's society, hockey is a pricey sport to involve your kid with, right? When it comes to the traveling, right? The equipment. I mean, the practice. One of my best friends, my childhood best friends, was a hockey player. And that's how, because through that friendship, I found out more things about hockey. I played it for a little bit, but he got me involved in sports that was kind of unfamiliar within the Black community. So I played like a couple years of lacrosse, because a lot of hockey players off season play lacrosse. It was weird. And so, but I've never stuck with hockey because I enjoyed my teeth too much. You know what I mean? Like the average hockey player, that teeth ain't real. That ain't their real teeth. So I'm like, but it's cool to know. Oh yeah, no, it's like 30-year-olds.
So it really be like that? Like, it really
absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
They have the option to either keep a mouthpiece or to not keep a mouthpiece, and to also keep a full a face protector, because a lot of them will have it just covering their eyes. I mean, it's one of the most intense contact sports in the world.
That's why
but
they be squabbling on there.
Absolutely.
Everything.
I mean,
that's why they be squabbling.
the refs
Real
let them
talk.
too.
If I can learn how to skate, you can put me on the team to just squabble, bro. I'll
just bring me in the game. They're gonna push you in.
Imagine me and Rick. Yeah, off top, Rick. Imagine us on the team, bro. We learn how to skate, and we just out there. They say, "Hey, y'all the squabble boys." Hell, my mama, man.
I don't know if you guys caught that. There was this the other day, man. They had a squabble. I think it was one of the longest fights in NHL. They were fighting for like a few minutes back and forth. I mean, it was the most intense fight I think ever.
I think it was that USA and Canada game.
Yeah.
I saw it. It was intense. I mean,
I seen some photos of it. I didn't know it went on as long as it did, though, Rick Fame. But yeah. I just don't understand how these cats, they can fight and beat the jersey off your back. There's some fight there, man. I'll beat the shirt off your back.
Look, it's so cold, they probably can't feel it. With them punches, they face so numb because it's so cold out there on the ice. They probably
that's some different type of fight, though. I mean, that's squabbing, but man, I tell you, to beat the shirt off your back and it's cold and you don't feel it, that's a different type of fighting.
Yeah. I don't want to, that's too much. And for those that don't know, there's a book out called Black Ice. They get real deep into the actual, and there's a couple of documentaries out on the actual Nova Scotia story when we're talking about the different teams that were up there. You got the Halifax Eureka's that were there, the Amherst Royals, and it was 7 different communities in Nova Scotia that actually had the hockey teams. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Let's keep this rolling. At this point, I want to come home real quick to Sacramento, California. We have an area out here, an urban area called Natomas in Sacramento, California. And I want to jump on this basketball season because the playoffs start next week. So at this time, I want to introduce the varsity male basketball team, the leaders of this team, the ones that have taken them to their playoffs. The head coach, Mr. Brian McKenzie, and the assistant coach, Angelo Jenkins. These 2 brothers, I want to give you guys props for what you do, not only just being a coach, but giving them a platform to where they can express themselves and showcase their talents. Introduce yourselves, let us know who you are, what you do, and how you guys got to the position where you are now and the team rocking out.
Yeah, I'll start off, Matt. First of all, thank you guys for having us on the show today. We greatly appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is D'Angelo Jenkins. I'm the assistant varsity basketball coach at Natomas High. This is my second year coaching at the varsity level, and I had a year prior coaching at the JV level. Yep.
Okay.
So I'm enjoying it, man. Coach McKenzie and myself, we work, hand in hand. Definitely enjoy working with him, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be on the staff. I'll
Okay,
pass it
definitely.
over to you, Matt.
So appreciate being here, fellas. Definitely enjoy the show, and definitely will be tapping in now that been brought to my attention. So just want to thank you guys for having us. But as Coach Jenkins said, I'm Brian McKenzie, Coach McKenzie. The kids call me Coach Mac. I'm originally from the East Coast, born and raised Brooklyn, New York. Transplant Californian through my wife, who is a Natomas native. And that brings me here to, this opportunity. So I'm a former college assistant coach back in the East Coast. Spent some time here coaching, grassroots, and spent a couple years at Sac High, where I was fortunate enough to win a section title. And then took advantage of the opportunity when the Natomas job opened up last year. So this is my second year as the head coach, and we just made the best of a great situation. Natomas has been a sleeping giant for a long time. Back in the day, they were the home of where the Kings used to practice time and time. And then, it obviously fell off a little bit. The community grew and other schools were built and so on and so forth. But the resurgence is real, and we are here to shed that light.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up too, because I know Intercom High School, which is in the north part of Natomas, north of Natomas to be exact. We got to play, but it seemed like Natomas High School is coming back, and then thanks to what you're doing, Coach Jenkins, it should be back because it's a big crop of athletes in that area. I know you got what's his name, Mano Jenkins, who's probably one of the all area performers around here. So that's a pretty big deal for that part of the city and stuff like that. So yeah, we do want to pay homage to the work that you guys are doing over there.
No, much appreciated. And to really just highlight the work itself, I want to speak about last season where we made a run in the state, almost made it to Golden One as a state runner-up. It was highlighted and documented in a book that Nick Lazito wrote, One Season's Dream. So if you guys ever get a chance, it's at the Underground Bookstore in Sacramento, right down there in Oak Park, as well as online where you can grab it as well. But it was documented, which was pretty dope as well. And just to be able to be back this year in the same position, obviously leveling up, being a number 1 seed as opposed to a number 3 seed, is something special. So we're proud to, put on for the community. We're proud to give these boys the opportunity. And again, we're just proud to have, the families and everyone behind us.
Definitely.
I got a question. Will you repeat that? What's that book again? I know Nick Lazito. I've been knowing for many, many years. He's a Sac State grad himself. He does some great work. He done moved around a little bit. So what's the name of that book again, Coach?
One Season's Dream. One Season's Dream.
So right on. I got to get that. I'm definitely going to pick that up, and I'm going to get Nick to sign it too when I run into him again. I know he's doing a lot of. He loves high school sports, so I know that's something that he's really passionate about. Though, thanks for bringing that up. Share that.
So for those don't know, Underground Books in Sacramento, California is located right off of Broadway, next around the corner from Fixin's restaurant. I got a question for you for both coaches. You said you almost made it to the state championship last year. What do you think this year's playoffs that you may need to change to get to the state championships? What would it take for you guys to win that this year? Because we're going to be rooting. We're going to come see you guys this Friday. We in the house.
I'd say consistency. I know you guys spoke earlier in the show about defense wins championships. And that's just the biggest thing. And, in high school, that's the major separation. One of the major separations in winning is being consistent. You know, these kids, these families, that they have their own lives, their own journeys. There's so much going on outside of when they're on the court. So just being able to get them to buy in and be consistent, I think is going to be huge for us this year. We have a lot of new guys, but the returning core, they're really locked in, and they've been doing a good job leading and showing the way for the newer guys. We have a lot of JV guys that are just coming along and finding themselves at the right time. So just looking forward to that consistency, and then, you know, them taking advantage of the opportunity.
Okay, what day does the playoffs start for you guys?
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So 2
Yes, sir.
days from now. So for those that's in Sacramento, for the support itself, where are you guys playing at?
Home. We'll be at Natomas High.
And
So
Natomas
we'll be on
High.
our home court.
So
Yes,
you
sir.
Hey, Rod.
So locally
Rod.
in Sacramento and surrounding areas, for Coach D Money and Coach Mac, they definitely be able to go see them Wednesday. Go check them out. Another
Hey, can
question.
I add, Rodney, I just want to ask Coach McKenzie one other question
hold on,
before we
real
move
quick,
forward,
real
if you
quick.
don't mind.
Go ahead.
Real quick.
Yeah. You said you coached it. You said you did some work at Sacramento High School. Were you under the guidance of what's his name, Johnson? Who's the head coach over there?
When Matt Johnson was there?
Matt Johnson. Oh, so he's no longer there then.
No, he's not there anymore.
Okay, because I know Matt used to play for us, Sac High, and he's come from a winning tradition over there, and he went to go play at Northern Arizona. So
Yeah.
I think that with you moving over there to North Thomas, coming from that type of program, man, basketball is back in high school. Though I just wanted to bring that up. Back to you, Rodney.
All right, D Speed, what was you saying, brother?
Man, Coach Mac. Okay, that's dope. I love what you creating and what you're doing in story with them boys, but I want to know what kind of dogs you got over there. Are they hungry? Like, do they understand? And especially a book was written about them, like the opportunity they had and what they not going to allow to take place this time. You said you're number one this year, right?
That's right.
Okay, so you got some boys over there. Here, keep me on. I want to see your reaction. You got some dogs over there who understand what the mission is.
Oh yeah. I promise
yeah.
you we do. I promise you we do. We got some dogs, and then we grooming some more dogs that's coming along with them. So, that's the whole purpose. The dogs leading right now, and the pups coming along. It's just gonna get scary.
Hey, I want to come see it. So if that's this Wednesday, man, mark me down. Mark me down. I'm gonna
7 p.m.
represent. It's probably gonna be a couple of us heritage folks up in there, man. But off top, 7 p.m. I want to come see what you grooming over there, bro.
All you got to
see that. You and Coach Jenkins. I want to see what y'all got popping.
Get D'Angelo to give you the name. Get the names, and we'll have you at the door. Special.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say less.
We'll set it up. You want a table and do a little broadcast, whatever y'all want to do, just let us know.
Do it live.
We'll let you know. We'll definitely come in. We want to come and cover this, man. And it's all about the support. So my question is this, and both of you guys can answer, or one can answer. Outside of basketball, I've kind of looked into you guys' demeanor and how you guys carry yourself. What kind of support, or let me rephrase the question. How important is it for you two being the coach to show the support outside of basketball? Because you said that there's different lifestyles that these kids grow up in, right? That these young men are trying to achieve, and they come from different backgrounds. How important is it for the two of you to support them outside of the sport itself?
I'll let D'Angelo go first. Go ahead, D.
Okay. Yep. It's extremely important. More than anything, especially if you hear like our messages as a coaching staff, we push like great men. We're pushing great young men. Grades, education, character. That's always what we push. Education first, especially like that's Coach Mac's number one thing is pushing education. As far as to, it's been a thing that every game, all the players have to turn in a grade check. So like we're on them about their education. We're on them about how they carry themselves, how they dress, being well groomed, being well spoken, just to be great young men. That's what we're pushing, man. Like yes, we're athletes, but we're pushing student athletes, student first, athlete second, and we're looking to just produce great young men in the community.
So I'll double down on that and reiterate the idea about role models. So, I think as coaches, I think the biggest thing that gets swept under the rug is that idea of you being someone to look up to, someone who's giving guidance. Why should we listen to your guidance? Right. And that's the biggest thing that I preach. So I have a great group of guys, a great coaching staff that not only have experience at the high school, collegiate level, professional level, but they're all family men. At the end of the day, they're all hardworking men who take care of their wives, their kids. And that's one of the messages that I try to send as well, because not everyone's going to get an opportunity to play in college. We would love for it to be the thing. Not everyone's going to, get to go to the league or overseas or whatever the case may be. But if we could continue to create great citizens of tomorrow, I think that's the biggest key. So with that and the academic piece that coach is talking about, we work with this year. We had a fortunate sponsor, Team Sage, that provided a lot of tutoring for our students. And there's plenty of examples of great turnaround with kids that had a 1.8 and now have a 3.8. So it's been huge. It's been a huge battle, uphill battle, especially for our community. And the idea of Natomas being the underdog, that we just been really, really, really pushing that confidence, that to just believe in yourself, and starting with academics. Like, a lot of kids don't want to go to school. They don't want to go to math. They don't want to, why do I have to do this? But we push it so much that now it's a part of them, and the more we can make it a part of their DNA, whether they want to go to trade school after, whatever, it's that consistency, the understanding of hard work and, what it takes to just be a good citizen.
That made me want to go even more.
Right, made me want
to show up even. That made me want to show up even more.
I appreciate you guys. I love the message that you're sending. I love the message that you're giving. I love how you support not only on the court, but you supporting off the court. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the head coach and the assistant coach, D Money.
Coach Jenkins and Coach McKenzie. Let's give it up again, man.
Joining us in HAIRitage Sports Talk. Gavin, I want to thank you, but I want you to go ahead and remind everybody who you are, where you come from, and the things that you do, and how important you are on our left coast out there too, out there on the other side.
I appreciate it, fam. Again, y'all, thank you so much for having me. My name is Arrington Gavin, coming to you all the way from the 757, Hampton Roads, Virginia, Chesapeake, Virginia. Founder, CEO of Rugged Evolution Incorporated. Our bread and butter is our men's grooming line, Rugged Evolution Beard Care, which is specialized in facial hair care. We have 17 scented beard oils, beard balms, conditioner shampoos, leave-in moisturizers. Check out the website ruggedevo.com. There's a lot of our products. We've extended our line since our start in August of 2017. We've been fortunate to be featured in Essence Magazine a couple of times. We've been shout out on other publications, and we're very honored to do that. We just want to keep promoting, fellas, not only should we take care of ourselves internally, but as well as externally. In addition to the work with Rugged Evolution Beard Care, I also have a nonprofit called the Rugged Evolution Foundation, which we focus on youth here in Hampton Roads, specifically youth adolescents from 13 to 18. But we've been helping out with both boys and girls. We've given out to around 3,000 families in the Hampton Roads area backpacks filled with school supplies, as well as other resources that help bless them with the things that they need, because there's a lot of folks of our brothers and sisters in lower income areas that think they're not that they're not needed, but they feel like no one cares. They feel like no one is paying attention to them. So we want to keep shining on the light and sticking it to our local council to be like, hey, look, you gotta look out for this area too. If you're in charge of your whole the whole city, you gotta be in charge of all people, not just specific people. And then lastly, I do local radio here in the Hampton Roads area, as well as a podcast where I get to sit down and talk with influential people, from entertainers, athletes, politicians on both sides of the aisle. And we just have great conversations. We make it fun, but also informative too.
Definitely. Well,
Right on.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Aaron Gavin, Rugged Eagle. I appreciate the Thomas head coach and the assistant coach, Coach Matt, Coach D. You guys are more than welcome to come join us anytime on Heritage Sports Talk. You guys make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to my peoples. Elijah, one love, bro. I appreciate you joining us this morning, Mr. D Speed. Always a pleasure.
Hey, real
Rick
quick.
Fame. Rick Fame.
What's
I
up,
salute
man?
all three of you. Elijah,
Man.
D-Speed, Rick Fame. Salute.
Salute you. Tony, it's always a pleasure seeing you Monday morning, my brother.
Always, Rodney.
Absolutely, Mr. Harvey.
Hey,
Hey,
it's
man, I'ma
Heritage
see you-
Sports
I'ma see
Talk.
you fellas
We hear
on
every
Wednesday,
week.
man.
We listen to the rumors, but we only bringing you the facts. We talk about everything on the outside, everything on the inside, and everything in the cut. Once again, we appreciate you. This is Heritage Sports Talk. Until next time, loved ones, and that's what it's about, y'all.
Hey, Elijah.
Peace, love, and solidarity. I'm
Take
out.
care, fellas.
But